In this problem, we have 20 divided by 1 minus 2i. So I need to simplify this because there are i's in the denominator, and in general, we don't want to have imaginary numbers in the denominator of a fraction. So how can I do that? How can I get rid of the 2i in that denominator? What you need to do is you need to find the complex conjugate of the complex number in the denominator. What is a complex conjugate? Well, if you have a number in the form of a plus bi, such as 3 plus 2i, its complex conjugate is just you make it a minus bi. That means you flip the term on the imaginary part. So 3 plus 2i would have a complex conjugate of 3 minus 2i. Okay, but in our example up here, we have 1 minus 2i. So what if you have something in the form of a minus bi, like 1 minus 2i? The complex conjugate is, once again, you flip the sign on the imaginary part. So you get a plus bi. So the complex conjugate for 1 minus 2i is just 1 plus 2i. So we're going to need this complex conjugate. Now, what do you do with this complex conjugate? What you need to do is you need to take your fraction and multiply it by that complex conjugate on the numerator and the denominator. So I'm going to have times 1 plus 2i at the top, and then 1 plus 2i at the bottom. So now let me just rewrite this as one big fraction. I'll have 20 times 1 plus 2i. I'll have 1 minus 2i times 1 plus 2i. So now we just need to multiply these out. Let's start with the numerator. 20 times 1 is just 20. 20 times 2i is just 40i. So the numerator just becomes 20 plus 40i. Now we need to multiply the terms in the denominator. So to do that, I'm going to do 1 times 1 is just 1. 1 times 2i is just 2i. Minus 2i times 1 is just minus 2i. And then minus 2i times plus 2i is minus 4i squared. And then to simplify this, notice that the 2i and the minus 2i cancel out. And all we're left with is just 1 minus 4i squared. Well, I squared is just negative 1. So this is just equal to minus 4 times minus 1. And minus 4 times minus 1 is just plus 4. So we have 1 plus 4. And notice that's just 5. In other words, this whole denominator here just simplifies as 5. Now, do you see how by using the complex conjugate, we were able to eliminate the complex number at the bottom and just be left with a real number? Now we just need to divide. So to divide this, we'll just have 20 plus 40i divided by 5. That's equal to 20 divided by 5, plus 40i divided by 5. 20 divided by 5 is just 4. And then 40i divided by 5, well, 40 divided by 5 is just 8. So we're left with 8i. And that's it. That's how you divide complex numbers, or how you divide by complex numbers.